NBC's Peter King reports the Packers would want, quote, at least 2 first-round picks in a trade for Aaron Rodgers, Denny. Is that really a justifiable or even attainable price point at this point? Because Aaron Rodgers entered his irreversible decline phase. Just give us a little bit further breakdown of that report from Peter King. There's a lot of nuggets in there. And it's kind of your thoughts on where Aaron Rodgers is at this point in his career.
I mean, Adam Schefter said last week that Rodgers leaving Green Bay is likely.
Seems like the skids are being greased for that. I mean,
yeah, and
Aaron Rodgers, is really subtle, but his last game at Lambeau Field, he gave a few little nods to it. It was not subtle at all. He basically, was like walking around the field, like overtly telegraphing to everyone in the stadium, "This is my last game here."
Right. I mean, he looked like Cal Ripken circling.
He really did
yards after his last game. So
yeah, it was the first time I'd ever seen him happy after a loss too. Which
I know. Yeah, he was like, "I'm finally out of here, man."
I know. It was bad.
Yeah. I mean, first, I would say, Aaron, in your advanced age, you might want to go somewhere warm. I mean,
go to a dome,
please.
Why does everyone always go to Denver? Peyton Manning pioneered the worst trend in history.
Yeah.
Being like 37. Like, I'm going to go to Denver.
Everybody should retire to the Dolphins. That's what should happen.
And you can retire to Denver, but you retire to like a McMansion cabin. You don't retire to playing outdoor football.
No, right. Yeah. Unless the Broncos finally do the right thing and build a dome.
No,
but,
just get out of here.
Anyway. Yeah, no, I think that this is a possibility with the Jets because Aaron Rodgers would be such an enormous upgrade.
It's a shame, but
over what they have now. And
they would have been Super Bowl contenders with Aaron Rodgers this year.
Yes, they have a really good core of players. They have a lot of defensive talent. Okay, even their special teams is good. They have Garrett Wilson, who's an emerging alpha. They have Elijah Moore, who's underutilized, but we know what he can do with proper usage. And I think that he could get back there. Breece Hall. Michael Carter, I know you don't like Michael Carter, but I'm going to throw him in there.
Yeah, he's bad. It's a shame that he's bad.
But I mean, they have a lot of talent. Maybe a little bit of an upgraded offensive line would be in order to keep Rodgers, upright. But they don't have a viable starter. Mike White's not a viable starter. No. Zach Wilson. So the question becomes: are the Jets going to waste another season on Zach Wilson,
or they're not?
Are they going to pull the plug? I think you have to pull the plug.
They're going to pull the plug for sure, I think. I mean, they're having it both ways, the classic way where they're like, "Oh no, we're committed to Zach Wilson." And the next question was, well, are any other quarterbacks going to come in? They're like, "Well, I mean, yeah, but believe it, we're committed to Zach Wilson though."
Yep.
Where they're doing the classic talking out of both sides of their mouth.
Yeah. We're totally committed to Zach Wilson, and we're going to bring in his replacement.
Yeah, exactly. So that is
messaging.
The Jets probably. You're going to talk about some other teams now, but I would say the Jets are probably the odds-on favorite for a variety of reasons. Just like, well, unless he doesn't want to go there, which very strong chance he might not want to.
So I do have some numbers to suggest that Rodgers fell off pretty dramatically, and I don't really know how much to contribute to the loss of Davante Adams, who was basically the entire offense during the previous 3 seasons, really. But just looking at Rodgers' performance, his Pro Football Focus passing grade was the 3rd lowest of his career in 2022. His adjusted yards per attempt was the 2nd lowest of his career, and his touchdown rate was the 4th lowest of his career. Even just last year with Davante Adams, in 2021, Rodgers was 2nd in completion rate over expected. That fell all the way to 16th, right in the middle of the league in 2022. Wow. His metrics that he's excelled in for a long time, and I know this like adjusted EPA per play, like he's an EPA machine, right? Fell off, dramatically in 2022, all the way to 21st around the. And I hate to say this, Pat, but it's around the Andy Dalton region of EPA.
Yeah, that's a libel lawsuit waiting to happen. He's a very litigious person too.
I am only reporting the numbers. Okay, this is no editorializing on my part.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is willing to take that one to court too. He won't settle.
Well, I'm scared.
He will not settle that lawsuit. It's going all the way. So you better be prepared to go all the way to the Supreme Court. Hopefully you can find some really nice pro bono representation.
Oh, I'm sure I can.
Willing to lose 6-3 your case before the Supreme Court. And Aaron Rodgers, I mean, last year is weird because the variable was so huge. I mean, the aging variable is probably still the biggest variable. I mean, the other variable, not only were they losing Davante Adams, they were then just going to like whole scale new young faces and like people who just like didn't like Aaron Rodgers. I think sometimes embarrassed them more than they needed to be. Shocker to Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs just for a while didn't appear to have any idea how to play receiver in the NFL. Like that will, very much hurt your EPA numbers.
Right.
And like your best, and like too many games where Allen Lazard, who's really a number 3 or a number 4, was the number 1. That's going to hurt your EPA. So it's, I don't know if aging cliff exists. I don't know if you go from back-to-back MVP. I guess it has happened. It kind of happened with Peyton Manning, kind of happened with Brett Favre, going from MVP form to like the Dalton zone. But I still thought physically it looked like he had plenty left in the tank.
Me too.
With the strong exception of he was getting hurt like more than ever. He was playing through like a million injuries, which only increases as you get older. But I would be willing to gamble on Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if I'm willing to gamble 2 first-round picks, though.
That's a lot.
For a guy who's year to year at this point, I think you need to talk him down to like a 1st and a 3rd or something. That's like a lot more reasonable. And I don't think anyone would trade 2 first-round picks. I mean, they did for Stafford, but he was like, 33?
Yeah, no. I mean, Rodgers is way up there.
Yeah, he's almost 40 years old.
And yeah, and I mean, I would think that a team could point to 2022 and say, hey, like, we're not giving you 2 first-round picks for that. So
he does have a veto power. Yeah. Peter King mentions, like you said, the Patriots. He mentions the Raiders. He mentions the Seahawks, which would be a pretty interesting one. I don't know if the worldview of Pete Carroll and Aaron Rodgers would be aligned enough. They both kind of believe in conspiracy theories. I mean, Pete Carroll, it's only one conspiracy theory with Pete Carroll that we know of. We don't need to mention it on air. Aaron Rodgers believes many more of them, it seems like.
Yeah, and he always
fundamentally they are very
talk about it.
Yeah, they're very different. I don't know if Rodgers too. I don't think at this point he's not going to go sign up for the Belichick thing. Like,
that sounds awful. That sounds like a marriage made in hell.
This guy has gotten used to going on like Joe Rogan. He's not going to go like, guess what? You can't tweet now. Yeah, he's like, what?
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and Rotoworld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from Rotoworld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.